All right, guys. Our next guest is one of the best middleweights to ever do it, period. Former UFC champion and top ranked in the division. He's here to update us on what's next. The Yellow and Red Express, the immortal Robert Whittaker. What you gonna do when Rob Mania runs wild on you? How are you, brother?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Oh, we're doing good, man. And by the way, first things first, congratulations are in order. Because you have a new show, man. Since the last time we spoke, and you've dropped MMArcade with you and Johnny Roses. To find out, dude, how's it feeling like being back on the other side of the microphone?
Yeah, it's good to be back. Honestly, it's a great platform. I'm getting a lot of good feedback from it. I read a lot of the comments on YouTube and the other platforms, and I can see that people genuinely enjoy it and look forward to it. I have several YouTubers that I impatiently wait weekly for their videos to drop. So it's a good feeling to know that there's people waiting like that for me. And
we're some of those people, Rob, Submission Radio, refreshing the page.
Well, it's Thursday night, every Thursday night, 8 o'clock it drops. So
who do you check out, by the way? Who are the YouTubers that you're like, got to get some of this good stuff and you're waiting on?
So a couple of my favorites, what's it called? Ambiguous Amphibian.
What's that?
AA. He's a gamer guy.
Okay.
Another one is Splattercat. He's probably my number one. Splattercat. He just plays a lot of indie games, does little reviews. Love watching his stuff. There's you guys won't like it very much. None of them are sports. They're all video games.
Rob, most of my child and adult life was spent playing video games. I'm cut off now, so it's like, but I get it. I get it, man. I used to hang out on the IGN forums, the SmackDown forums, the Vestibule, all this kind of like, I would mod WWE games for like 12 hours straight. So it's a sickness, but like I get it. I get it. Don't get me wrong.
It's a beautiful sickness.
It is.
And just to jump in there, Cass, and I don't watch YouTube, Rob. I watch YouPorn, which is a similar. Splat Cat. Similar. I don't know if it's the same video.
Avenue.
Yeah. Hey, I know the feeling of waiting on Thursday night for your favorite YouPorners to drop their content. You know what I mean? I was gonna say, what are some of the things that you've picked up, like some of the stuff that like Splattercat and like Ambiguous Amphibious does, and you're like, oh, I like that. Also, or maybe something that you see in other videos, and you're like, you know what, this needs more of that, and then you apply it to your show.
Oh, they're very different platforms. Like not platforms, content. It's very different content. More so, we really pride ourselves. Not pride ourselves. We really take in like viewer feedback, and we're constantly reading the different discussions and suggestions and comments, and making changes on the fly. Like every episode we're trying to make better than the last, and I think just through that natural sort of progression and feeling out process of trying just to make it better, and everybody who's watching just wants to see it do better. It's just going up. I feel like every episode's better than the last. So plus it's a lot of fun to do it. It's not I'm not having to drag my feet to get there or to put them out. It's something I genuinely want to do, and I enjoy putting it out there, and I enjoy the feedback I get off the viewers and listeners, and so it's in a really good place at the moment.
Nice, you can man. A lot of.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna jump. You can hear it in your voice, Dennis. Like it's super. Oh, sorry. In your voice, Rob, it's very refreshing, and it's just something new that you're excited about. How do you go about like reading all the comments? I imagine a lot of your comments will be like super positive, but I feel like with MMA, like you can kind of just check out and not read like every single Instagram comment. Whereas with here, I feel like you're almost flocking. You're running towards those comments because you want that feedback. It must be pretty different, right?
Oh yeah, it's different to a degree. I do read the comments in Instagram and Twitter and all that. I do read them. I don't really respond all the time. I don't have a ton of time, and I don't invest a lot of energy into it. Usually how I operate with my socials and my platforms is that I read the comments, I take them into the think bank, and then the next video I drop or something related to it will have elements of people's questions, and a lot of like the podcast, I'll answer a lot of questions that come up in my socials and in my feeds, or a lot of people that throw out like clickbait articles or rumor mills and stuff, and then I just clarify them because it gives me an outlet. It gives me a voice that I can control, and it's quite powerful.
Nice, man. A lot of we have some nice commenters, but a lot of comments on our one is just like, Dennis, you have a stupid face. It's hard to take that into the think bank and do anything about it. But I have come out with a new nose and some plastic surgery a couple of times.
Or a mask.
Yeah, wear a mask. Just a lot of crying in the shower, but it's there. Hey, I was gonna ask, like, you guys aren't really doing too much in terms of guests at the moment, but do you reckon you'll do some guests? And if who would be like a dream one for you?
I would like to move into that avenue maybe one day. I think we've got our sort of I don't know, idea of what we want right now is what it is, kind of like a little bit of a talk show, just some information, banter, chatting, very relaxed, as you can tell, and we cut it at an hour. But we would like, I think once we have a few episodes under our belt and we're moving forward a little bit more, I think it would be good to have, say, like an info episode where we bring someone on and really pick their brains, things that I want to learn, and everybody can learn just by virtue of the fact.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I was going to just quickly before we move on, Johnny, he looks like a cool dude. Like, you guys have a great chemistry. Is his surname really Roses?
It is. It's a cool name, eh?
He's not
Johnny
Brazilian.
Roses.
It's not Johnny Hoses or anything.
Speaking of ear porn, Johnny, you got the wrong kind of videos coming out.
Johnny Roses. That's a sick name.
Is he like a childhood friend or something, or where'd you guys meet?
I met him in the gaming industry through Bethesda, and we became friends through that avenue, and we stayed in touch. And then he changed organizations, and I've kept in touch with him. A lot of times I've had to hit him up and ask him to power level a couple of my characters, and he's always been gracious to do it on Fallout 76. So it's just he's got his own platform, Lone Vault Wanderer on YouTube. He's got a pretty big platform there, and I've watched a lot of his stuff. So when I thought about jumping back into the podcasting world, the podcasting industry, he was the first kind of figure that came to mind.
Easy. All right, Johnny. Well, I've been blocked by my Nintendo console's been blocked by Nintendo. So if you're listening to this, please, man, I want to download the new Mario Kart levels. Apparently, if you chip your thing, you're blocked for life. Help me out, brother. Come here and help me. But
don't try to lure him into the dark side of Nintendo. Don't piss those guys off, dude.
Next thing you know, Dennis and Johnny are in a dark room getting interrogated.
On their stuff. No.
That's awesome. Okay, we want to talk MMA. That's obviously why we got you on. But I love talking about this shit. I have to ask, what is sort of the main difference, or like in feeling for you between, say, this podcast and then Grange TV? Because Grange TV was obviously very different, but it was also another beloved podcast that you were part of for a long time. So how does this feel different for you?
I guess obviously the structure of the show. So with half the show being MMA, like a passion of mine and what I'm currently actively doing at the moment, it's kind of my career.
Yeah, kind of.
You get that side of it from myself, but then with the back end of the episode, the 30 minutes of video games and anime and books and whatever the hell else I'm doing, it's like it's the other side of the coin for me. It's what I'm passionate about, one of my hobbies, one of my biggest hobbies, and it's just, I don't know, it's like a really good mix, because like that. If we had to do a podcast which encapsulates my life, it would have to be MMA and video games, right? With a dash of family in there somewhere. But yeah, and I guess where I am with life and how I've evolved as a person, how my character has grown, where I am with the family and with my career and everything, I'm in a much better place of wanting to do different things. Everything's becoming much more natural. And like I'm naturally transitioning into a lot of different avenues just because of the fact that I'm evolving and growing as a character still. I'm in a good place.
Well, dude, speaking of the career, obviously we're waiting to see what's next for you with this MMA thing, mate. Yeah.
You and me both.
I know, but look, before we even get to that, I saw you were doing the watch along with legendary fighter Jens Pulver, and you kind of gave your initial reaction when you saw that. stoppage win by Israel. But I got to ask you, man, like it was kind of hard to tell by looking at your face because it was a pretty crazy moment. Like, what was actually going through your mind when you saw like Alex cut off Israel, right? A lot of people like, here comes Alex. He's trying to put it on Israel here. What's going to happen? And then bang, Israel counters him and puts him out.
Well, my reaction. So I'll give it to you guys first. I was going to save it for my podcast, but I'll give it to you guys first.
Yes. Oh, how nice of you. Yes.
My reaction, because I've also seen a lot of the comments, it's like, you can see Rob being heartbroken. You can see Rob crushed because there goes his title shot, blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's my reaction for every freaking fight that ends spectacularly. Like if you look at the last time Pereira beat Izzy, it was the same reaction.
Yeah.
But I have less walk around space now because I've actually changed the office area from when I did that bloody that podcast at that time. Honestly, my reaction to Izzy winning was happiness. I was happy for him to win. I think it was a great way for him to win. I think it was a great story closure for their little period, for their thing that's happening. And I guess a big thing that I realized is that it's just how bad I want to fight Izzy, you know. And it wasn't until the fight between Alex and Izzy had played out and was playing out that, you know, if Alex would have won, I would have moved up to fight Alex. Okay, that was pretty much a sure thing. Which is cool. I want that fight. I'm aiming for the belt, okay? But it's not the same. I want to take the belt off Izzy, okay? And it wasn't until that might not have been a thing that I realized, hey, no, I really want to fight Izzy. Because there's been, throughout, since I've lost to Izzy, there's been times people have asked me, he's like, how bad do you want to fight for Israel, or do you just want to fight for the belt? What do you? And I've always said, I don't really care. But no, I do care. And I've realized I care. I want to fight Izzy for the belt, and I want to take the belt off Izzy. That's what I want to do. I do have a lot of respect for his skill set, and I've mentioned that before. I mentioned it to his face, but I know it's a puzzle I can work out, and it excites me. The challenge of trying to beat him, of getting back the belt from him. It's a driving force for me. I enjoy that, and I'm never going to stop hunting him ever. That's just what I want to do until I get that W back from him. That's what I want. So my reaction was happiness. I was happy. You know, I was happy. I saw the after fight celebrations. I thought that was pretty cutthroat. But that's him. Like, didn't he dry humped Costa that time? Like, what do you expect? I think once he did that, like, the cards are off the table. You know what I mean? You got what you get. So I don't think it really surprised anyone.
No, look, to be fair, you know, he had to get revenge on the kid. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't start it.
Mate, you don't get revenge on a 5-year-old. What am I doing? Well, all these kids, any kid that has slighted me in the world, what am I doing? Writing him in my book and then got to get him back in 10 years' time. Dude.
The Reaper Express, you know?
What is it? Israel has a little black book of like anybody that crosses him, he puts a name down as like 5-year-old, cut him off and just, no, okay, I got you, brother. Just you wait. Like, that seems like a lot of investment.
Yeah. I think it was cool. I enjoyed the whole thing. I enjoyed the whole spectacle of it, but just going back to you, man, like that's fascinating that, like, you know, these fights, the way they played out, especially this one, like solidified that fact for you, you know, because obviously we've been talking about this for literally years now about, like, you know, the belt or Israel and and the fact that this is what kind of solidified it for you. That's amazing.
It is.
I was going to ask you, did you learn much about Israel, like, that you can take into your fights between the last one or even this one?
He's good. He's just very good. I think him putting on the pressure earlier on in the Pereira fight was a very solid move, because he had a lot more success in the earlier rounds of the fight last time as well, and him doubling down on that was because that was always the thing, like, what element can he bring into this fight that'll change the outcome? What could he bring? I thought maybe wrestling, But he didn't need to do that. He just doubled down on the early pressure and didn't let it get to the later rounds, which was, dude. And I know, you know, from watching the interaction with the way it finished, with him rope-a-doping on the fence sort of thing, and throwing that hook when Pereira was throwing his hook, you know, they researched that. You know, that was a choreographed movement. Like, hats off. It was
as in the hook or the playing possum part.
No, him throwing his hook, playing possum on the fence, luring Pereira in to throw, like, you know, punches and bunches, and catching him in that moment. You know, it was a good strategy. I appreciate it, and yeah, it's made me really itchy. I want to fight him, dude. I really want to fight him.
So, all right. So you sent him a tweet. You said, amazing fight, great story, finisher, rest up and see you soon. And I know that, like, you know, you just mentioned the UFC, basically their plan was, right, Alex wins, we'll get Rob in there, we'll do this title shot. And you've been out waiting for a fight now for ages. I know you love to get in there and get going with your fights. Has the UFC said anything to you about, like, what happens if Israel wins and what they're going to do with you then?
Well, for one, with the tweet, okay, I feel like a cock. I felt, because bloody everybody and their mate started calling him out. It's like, I didn't realize everybody was calling him out. Otherwise, I would have just kept my mouth shut. I don't want to join those dudes. Like, yeah, I won that fight, but not at the cost of, like, calling him out with everybody else. Everybody wants a piece of him. This made me feel so mainstream. But
Rob needs to say hipster. Yeah, but you are ranked high, so it's not like you're ranked, you know, number 15 and calling for a title shot.
Yeah, but I'm in a tricky position. I'm in a tricky position. I know this, especially with Izzy winning that fight. I know the path that UFC had was Pereira to win, me to fight Pereira, beat Pereira, Izzy to fight me. Okay, that's the rematch they wanted. That's how they wanted it to happen. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm not 100% sure. I can't read their minds, but it sounds good in my head. Now, Izzy's won. Where does that leave me? Don't think Pereira's staying in middleweight. Okay, I think he's moving up. You would think so anyway. So where does that leave me? Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, my general idea of getting that title shot is the same. It's like, if they give it to me, they give it to me. You know, I'm hunting for it. I'm never going to stop hunting for him. And that's the truth of it. I will never stop. I will never stop coming for him. And if I have to run through people and just end people's careers to get that third shot at him, then I will. That's just what I'm going to do. Because, you know, it took Izzy 4 times to beat Alex Pereira, okay, to get his redemption arc. It's like, it'll only take me 3 to get mine. I guarantee you. The last time was very close, and my headspace was nowhere near as good as it is now. So with the better skill set, the better mindset, he loses that fight.
That's a low-key pretty gangster cold line. It'll only take me 3. That's some John Wick stuff. But if I'm reading you correctly, so because everyone's like, what the fuck is going on with Rob's next fight? Like, everyone wants to know. But if I'm reading you correctly, you
and me both.
Yeah. But if I'm reading you correctly, you're kind of like, look, if I get this next title shot, phenomenal. If they throw me someone else, all right, whatever, so be it. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm at a point where I just want to fight someone. Like, I just want to fight someone. And, yeah, I just want to fight someone. You know, preferably top 5. Like, yeah, I've fought everybody. Like, I want to fight top 5 dudes. I'm the closest thing to the title. There's 0 point fighting anybody else.
Yeah, well, it's okay. So Israel kind of hinted at, like, Du Plessis and, like, how they could sort of have that fight if he wins a couple. Do you almost fight him to take out the only other guy in the division that could potentially make it up to a title shot?
Yeah, perhaps. You know, like I said, I'm not the UFC. I don't make the stories. So see what happens. See what happens. I'm looking for a fight though. That's what I want. You know, and the fight has to lead me in the direction of the belt. That's what I want. I want to fight in that direction. So beating anybody that does not get me closer to a title shot makes no sense.
Yeah, 100%. All right, super quickly, while we're talking about beating things, if there's anything you got to beat, it's those stupid nose and ear hairs that you're always bloody ripping out with your fingers and making your eyes water. No more of that with our good friends at Manscaped, giving you the Weed Whacker 2.0 dose, baby. The best grooming tool in the world for your nose hairs and ear hairs. It comes with the 7,000 RPM motor, the improved steel blade system that upgrades the cutting performance from their first generation to better whack your weeds. Now has the skin-safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs. It's also cordless, rechargeable, and has a battery of up to 45 minutes of runtime. Nobody has that many hairs all over their body, let alone their nose and their ears. And best of all, the Weed Whacker 2.0, it comes in the Performance Package 4.0, which is the best value for money yet. So if you get the Performance Package 4.0, you got the Weed Whacker 2.0, don't you, baby? Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. And you get 20% off and free shipping today with the code word submission. Go to Manscaped right now and grab this crazy deal. Change your life forever, Cass.
That's right. Speaking of sexy deals, if you want to buy stuff and streaming services like, for example, Netflix or the NBA League Pass, because the NBA playoffs are just around the corner, don't be a sucker. Don't pay full price. Do what Dennis did, because obviously in your country you pay full price, all right? In Australia we pay full price. But what Dennis did is he used NordVPN. He switched his geolocation with one touch of a button to Malaysia or Philippines or something where the currency is, you know, not quite as strong. And then he saved absolute millions, or maybe not millions, but he saved a lot of dollars paying for the NBA League Pass. And you can do the same thing with Netflix. Don't pay for Australian Netflix prices, pay Mexican Netflix prices. You do it all with NordVPN, one touch of a button. You change your computer's geolocation, make your computer think you're somewhere else. It works for flights, it works for all sorts of things. And best of all, no buffering, no speed throttling like you do with other VPNs. What you gonna do when NordVPN runs wild on you? Isn't that right, brother?
That's right, brother. And listen, it's not only one of the best apps in the game today, not only does it only cost the price of a cup of coffee a month, but you guys have an opportunity to try it completely risk-free with 30-day money-back guarantee at NordVPN. You go to nordvpn.com/submission, get a huge discount and 4 additional months for free. Drop the leg drop on this deal right now, and thanks Submission Radio in the comments when you try. Trust us, it will be an absolute game changer. But Rob, I know like last time we sat down and it looked like they were going to propose this Khamzat fight, and now it looks like Khamzat's fighting Costa, but that's all rumors. Who knows what's going to happen with Costa and his contract situation. But did that fight ever get proposed to you after we spoke? Like, did that ever come across your desk with Khamzat?
No, it didn't. Yeah, no, it didn't. They I spoke to the UFC. I know I asked them, like, who do you want me to fight? And they said, like, the Costa doesn't want to fight me. They said the fight with Chimaev isn't guaranteed because he has trouble moving around. So, like, I have a family and stuff. I have a family to provide for. You know, I missed out on the fight with Costa, so there's a paycheck that just went to the other. I want a fight that's going to happen. I don't want to put 12 weeks in like Costa, camp through Christmas to find out that I'm not only missing the fight, I'm not getting paid. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just wasting my time. I don't want that to happen. I want to fight. I want to fight that will happen. Let alone, let's be honest, it's not like I'm going to get paid extra cash for taking a fight with zero sort of significance to moving towards the title. Khamzat's, whilst he's a good welterweight, he hasn't fought at middleweight. Like, he's not a ranked top 10 ranked fighter in middleweight. He's a great fighter, and I think he can be for sure. But you know, you got to do due diligence, right?
Seems to be the trend at the moment that people just want to see Khamzat, you know, do some more stuff at middleweight. before he makes it to that, title shot or even fighting title contender. I'm bummed about the Costa fight though, man. That would have been just a sick fight. You obviously in Perth, but even like to not be able to rebook it or anything, that's a shame, man.
Well, yeah, because he just doesn't want to fight me, dude. Like, yeah, he doesn't want this fight. He doesn't want this fight.
Bummer. All right. Well, look, we'll chat to you a lot more in the future about the podcast and stuff like that. But I got to end it on this question, man. I loved what you did recently. Is there a chance that the immortal Robert Whittaker comes back anytime soon? Possibly this time instead of the yellow and red, the bad guy NWO Hollywood version with the air guitar and everything, alongside Stone Volk Steve Austin.
Maybe at the next weigh-in.
Maybe. I don't know. You got to check their itinerary, see if they're flying down here in Australia once again. It was crazy to think we could get them on the air with such short notice. Anyway.
By the way, did you get that costume? Were they just like, listen, you got to be Hulk Hogan in 5 minutes, just go do your thing, or did they provide the costumes for you?
No, that was exactly it. They had a whole range of stuff in the back room. Like I was like, slapped on whatever, jumped in there.
They got to change that song to "I Am a Real Australian," and then it's just like, dun, dun, dun. What's this? It's the immortal Robert Whittaker. He's coming out to the ring and cashing in the money in the bank. He's fighting Israel in a cage tonight, guys. Make sure to follow Rob at Robert Whittaker MMA. Of course, the new podcast as well. Phenomenal stuff. MMA Arcade with Johnny Roses and Rob. We can't wait to see what happens next, dude. It's exciting times, and can't wait to see who gets locked in the cage with you next.
Me also, mate. Me also. Thanks for having me on, boys.
Thanks so much, Rob. Appreciate it. I like these afternoon chats when we're full of coffee and it's not like 6 a.m. Thanks so much, man.
Mate,
appreciate it.
It's great. It is great.
How good?
The vibes and energy is just top.
I know. It's so good. So good. All right, man. We'll get out of here. Have a great day,
Thanks so much,
Rob.
brother. All the best.
Have a good one, lads. Bye.
Bye.